Hello, my fellow Americans. The United States of America is a country that strives to provide life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all its citizens. As of right now, there are factors that make this American dream difficult to obtain. One main factor includes our low federal minimum wage. Currently, our federal minimum wage stands at $7.25 an hour. This has been the same rate since July 24 of 2009. In this time, America has been dealing with an economic recession, which has caused inflation and the cost of living to rise. Millions of families have been affected by this economic downturn, especially working class families and those living in poverty. According to the National Employment Law Project, a total of 129 million workers are affected by low minimum wage, 3/4 of them being ages 20 and up. Americans have less money to spend year after year, and this in turn hurts our economy because it relies highly on our consumer spending. Like the saying goes, you gotta spend money to make money. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in 2012, the poverty threshold for a single person was $11,945. For a family of 4 with 2 children, it was $22,283. At our current federal minimum wage, a full-time minimum wage worker earns an average of $15,080 a year. As of 2013, the nation's average annual rent cost falls around $11,500 and continues to rise. This is a problem according to Morgan Brennan, staff writer for Forbes, because nearly 4 million families have transitioned into rentals since the foreclosure wave began. It is for these reasons, Nick, that I am proposing that we increase the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $10.10. It is with this increase I hope to spark our economy through more consumer spending. Thank you, good night, and Godspeed.
Good morning, Los Angeles, and welcome to Good Question. Today we have a student from Cal State LA ready to inform us about this new policy that seems to be struggling a couple of students in our area. So, welcome to the scene, Myra. How are you today, Myra?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good, thanks for asking. So this current policy, enforced by federal labor laws, that sets minimum wage at an average $7.50 is not enough for workers, families, parents, and even teenagers in their efforts to try to get their own income. What do you think is the problem with that?
I don't think we should blame individuals, but we should blame society. They have no choice but to work minimum wage due to college not being affordable to them. And the fact that minimum wage is so low and we have to work so many hours just to make ends meet is not right. Having to pay bills, paying rent, and like waste like that is like, it's not gonna cut anything. We need to have minimum wage rates.
Of course. And according to WhiteHouse.gov, raising the minimum wage would benefit more than 28 million workers and directly boost the wages of 19 million. How do other people feel about this?
Mainly frustrated because especially having to take the bus here and not being able to live up to certain goals that you have in your life. It's very frustrating, especially just because it's because of money. An example is myself, and I know I speak for others. Not being able to move out of my parents' house is really a big struggle for me because I'm trying to become more independent and try to focus on myself more. But just because I can't work as many hours as a regular person that only has a full-time job, it really sucks. I don't get as much money as I would like, especially because it's only $7.50 an hour, and I can only work certain hours because I go to school full-time as well.
Of course. And we hear this struggle from many Cal State LA students, and I'm sure from other college students around the state and the country. As far as this policy goes, we hope it continues and it's put in efforts so we can have more students available to work and become independent as we all once did.
Hi everyone, my name is Max Powers and I'll be your host today on Good Question. On Good Question today, we'll be talking about, are we heading for another Great Depression? On our previous segments, we heard about what these problems are, who's causing these problems, who's to blame. Now we're going to figure out how we can cure it. And with us today is Omar D. Johnson from the Economic Institute of Economic Research. Hi.
How you doing? It's a pleasure to be here.
Cool.
First off, the Congress needs to raise the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to hopefully $10.10. And the reason to do this is because by doing this, we can help millions of Americans. And let me tell you this, Max. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the poverty rate of a family of four, which is the average number of family size, is 28,350, end quote. And the average minimum wage that the worker earns is $14,500. So and this is according to the White House. A raise in the federal minimum wage would generate increased income for 28 million workers. That's a lot. And the increase would also, according to the Congressional Office, will lift almost 1 million of Americans out of poverty.
Wow, you heard it here, folks. Clearly, the solution to our problems is to raise the federal minimum wage in order to lift over 900,000 people out of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it can't all be good. What are the costs to all this?
Yeah, of course it has to be a limit and certain costs in order for this to happen. And one of them is to increase the low wage, is to decrease the corporate taxes. And the reason to do this is because this will allow the corporation to increase labor and productivity, which will then create more jobs, create more opportunities for employees to get their salaries and the wages increased. And so it's a win-win situation for the corporation and the employees. The productivity increases and the income for the employees increases as well by decreasing the corporate taxes.
Cool. Thank you, Omar. That's all the time we have for today on Good Question, but you heard it here, folks. And if you have a good question, just bring it here and we'll try to answer it. Thank you.